Baton, the lesson from Ed. The lesson from Ed, ulit Baton.
Was there a time in your life when you feel so miserable? You were constantly hating yourself, the people around you, and probably even your situation because you just had a bad day. Now don't worry guys, you are just perfectly normal. And I'm not different from any one of you. That means I'm also normal. In fact, I cried when my phone fell to the ground and got broken. Oh my God. Worst day ever. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and wonderful guests. Just when I thought that I had an overwhelming day, and then all of a sudden I will be seeing news around the world about the war in Middle East, the killings in America, and the last one that I've heard was the massacre in Africa. It was really devastating. But I also think about the people who lived at that time, at that place. Probably they will never live a life that they deserve. They will never have a chance. I just remember a girl back in the Second World War. Her name was Anne Frank, who could have a very promising life. A German born in 1929, but her father decided to move to Netherlands as soon as Hitler's Nazi power gained control over the country. They successfully relocated and had a decent life. Anne and her sister Margot had a normal life, just like the children of their time. They were excelling in school and had so many friends. However, in 1941, Germany invaded Netherlands. Her life turned upside down, and it was never the same again. Being a Jew, they were deprived of so many things, of education, of transportation, and many more. Life became even more unforgiving when the persecution of their population increased in July 1942. They were forced to leave their home and go and hide to a concealed room behind the house where his father was working. So much for a young girl to suffer. Somehow, the autograph book that she turned to be a diary that was given to her by her father on her 13th birthday was her only resolution. An escape from her insanity, from the insanity that she was encountering. She would like to be an actress, but she turned out to be a writer. As she recounts the mundane aspects of her life, how she tried to uplift the morale of their household, and how she wanted to become a journalist. She shakes off her cares when she writes. Her sorrow disappears, and her spirit revives. Those times were difficult. She has hope that one day they will be living in a life, in a place where they could soundlessly sleep. August 1944, just when they thought that everything will be okay, someone betrayed them and the Nazi discovered their hiding place. They got separated from their father and they were sent to the concentration camps. they were forced to do hard labor. People who are unfit to work were thrown to the gas chambers. Children less than 15 didn't even have a chance. Thankfully, Anne just recently turned 15 at that time, so her life was spared. She was withdrawn and tearful, but still, courage remained in her. Together with her sister and her mother, their struggle continued as they fight against the Holocaust. In the second quarter of 1945, the war ultimately ended. Immediately, his father searched for them, but it was very unfortunate that his wife died due to starvation. Anne and her sister Margot, they died in an epidemic disease. It was depressing for his father, her father. Later, they discovered the diary of Anne. Her life may have been too short, but she will be remembered forever. Not only the people that she left, but also for the world, because her book was published after a couple of years. As I tried to think about the life of Anne, I couldn't help myself but to become more thankful that I am not living in that generation. I'm living in a place where I know I'm secured and safe and do things that I love. She taught me an important lesson in life, that despite of all these difficulties and trials, it is still up to us to create the world that we want to see. Once she said, "Think of all the beautiful things that remain in you and be happy." Fellow Toastmasters and wonderful guests, if there will be a time in your life that you feel so wasted, like when you fall to the ground, you just got fired at work, failed in your class, become heartbroken, I sincerely understand your actions and emotions. I forgive you. However, bear in mind that you have an option to choose. Either you cry, blame yourself and others, and become a victim, or stand up, brush your sleeve, and be thankful that you have learned. Mr. Toastmaster.